Kia ora, everyone. How's it going? It's your host, Mucky Productions, and I'm doing something a little bit different here. Normally, I've got like a massive agenda, whether it's me trying to get Jeff Probst fired from American Survivor, talking about Australian Survivor, talking about Squid Game. But, I'm just here for just a chill time tonight with none other than this handsome, wonderful man. I don't think we've done a podcast since... Was it the merge episode of season 47?
It's been a long time. It's been too long. It's been
too long.
You know what I want to say though? It's so good to see MUCKNY. MUCKY.
Okay. And it's always a mad pleasure to have a chat with none other than the wonderful Big Kahuna. Joe! BIGKAHUNA. Big Kahuna. How have you been,
bro? Good to be back, man.
It's so good to be back. What have you been up to?
Not much. I've been taking it easy from like all the podcasting and stuff. This is the first time I'm on Mucky Productions, so thank you for having me. But I've been doing a couple nights a week. I actually do trivia hosting. I'm a quiz master at pubs. Yeah, so picked up a second gig. So that's like my nighttime kind of filled up 2 nights a week, which the other nights of the week I kind of want to have. So that's why I've been taking it easy on a lot of the podcasting and missing out on all the fun that's been happening at Mucky Hope Productions.
Yeah, man. No, it's been kind of weird, to be honest, because it's because I'm so used to, obviously with the enough I take with so many people flooding the chats constantly. And it's like, we're slowly getting there. More and more people are joining in on the live chat and stuff. But it's actually a lot more fun seeing that more and more people are starting to come on and watch.
You're building
a lot of stuff. We're building something, man. We're building something. Like we might be rivaling Oosgang at some point, for the biggest content. And was it Jim's World?
Jimmy Jackson.
Yeah, Jimmy Jackson. One day we're gonna be rivaling them.
Oh, I've got a new one that's like one of my favorites. Have you heard of Mary Einstein?
No.
Mary Einstein's great. He's a cooking channel.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as you watch it, you'll be saying brown tongs.
Oh, no. I know that guy. I know brown tongs. Yeah, I know brown tongs. He's so good. And he cooks everything in like the toasty machine.
Sandwich press. Wax some butter on chat.
Some butter.
Brown spatula.
And he makes the most wildest things ever. He's like just
crazy
chucks
shit.
On mince. Yeah, chucks on onions and
he puts like full sauce in the sandwich press.
Yeah, he just what the shot. I recall there was one I saw that was like ages ago, but it wouldn't even start closing properly. Like it was just filled up with just so much shit, and he couldn't even close it.
Two. He gets one next to each other. It's like double.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so good. Actually, do you know Theo Shakes? He's also like a massive TikToker here in New Zealand, but he actually gave me
Theo Shakes. No.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
He's like no, not uncle. But yes, so Theo, he's a massive TikToker. I actually got to meet him. We went to film school together in 2020, so that's how I got to know him. Cool. But yeah, he gave me 2 free tickets to go and watch Warfare. Have you seen Warfare?
No,
yet?
I haven't watched it yet. Recommended though?
Strongly recommended. So it's not really a story. It's a experience about a group of US soldiers that all go into this house in Iraq. And there's no massive mission here. It's just casual surveillance and stuff, like note taking, like these are some suspicious activities going on and stuff. But as seen in all the trailers, they get ambushed, and so it's more of like a survival kind of thing of like what it's really like.
Well, in the home environment.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Do you think it was really good because you were in the cinema? You got free tickets and stuff as well. Makes it even better.
Oh, it was 10 times better. No, but it's like, because the director of it was actually one of the soldiers that was actually there. So this is like a real experience and stuff. And he got all the other soldiers that were there to like help add on who said what really happened in this room and that room during this time and stuff. And yeah, it's a very intense film, but done wonderfully.
I'll add it to the list. The ever-growing list of stuff to watch.
Ever-growing list. Yes, hurry up.
That one,
though,
I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
That one will go to the actual list as opposed to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which will go on the list that I'll tell you, yeah, I'll watch it. And I will literally never watch it. So, but Warfare is on a real list.
Okay, well, Kahuna, I must ask you, what will it take for you to watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?
I don't know, man. Maybe do do a live reaction. We'll do a watch along.
A watch along, yeah. You're not the whole universe. They've recently released Peter Pan Neverland of Nightmare. They've got Bambi coming out later this year too.
Why are they all like shitty horror movies?
Well, you haven't seen them yet. They're great horror movies. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, why are they all horror movies? Yeah. Why B grade, D grade horror movie? Why can't there's now this IP that's available to use, and every single person's like, I'm gonna use that shit to kill people.
Yeah.
Like Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, Popeye. I saw a Popeye one's coming out. It's gonna be a horror movie.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. So all these IP that are ticked over the 100-year trademark thing, like Winnie the Pooh. Popeye's one of them. Obviously, Steamboat Willie, the Mickey Mouse one. There's going to be a bunch of them that are falling into that open property, and they've just all made horror movies.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like, there's all these like childhood movie characters, right? And when you think of Winnie the Pooh, you think of the sweet, innocent, like, the bear that eats honey and stuff. But you would never in a million years imagine it's going to walk around with a giant machete bloody killing people. It's going to
I know, but
ram into cars. Yeah.
When Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey first came out, although I did not watch it, I appreciate that novelty aspect. Like, oh, I get it. It's the contrast of something so sweet being a murderer, a bloody murderer. And I was like, yeah, that's funny. Ha. It's a meme, right?
Yeah.
But it's done now. The movies are just the same thing, like over and over again. When you have, maybe not with I'll give Winnie the Pooh like props for being the OG, and especially because it's held such a warm place in your heart. But when you do the same thing with Steamboat Willie and then Peter Pan, and it's going to be the same thing with Popeye again, like it's the same thing over and over again. It's like, well, Winnie the Pooh's already done that. Do something different. Like if you can use the property, imagine if you did Winnie the Pooh and it was some like Paul Thomas Anderson art flick. But you can use whatever property that they're available, but you choose to use just a gore fest every time when you can make, I don't know, like anything, literally anything. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess my sort of whole perspective on it, especially with Winnie the Pooh, is that it's kind of like watching a child grow. The first film like had a very low budget and it made $5 million. And so it went from like
very low budget.
Yeah, I mean it was still low, but it looks like 10 times better though. Like in terms of the effort into like the costumes, the gore, the violence and stuff, the action sequences, like went from very average, which is in my opinion the best part about the movie is just how shit all the like with Piglet and Winnie the Pooh, it's so obvious someone's wearing a mask that it's like the best thing ever. Whereas in the second one, it's like, holy shit, it actually looks somewhat realistic, right? And then now they're doing like Peter Pan, they've got Bambi, they're actually making a story into like a Avengers type film called Puniverse Monsters Assemble.
They're making a verse.
They're making like a whole Avengers team up. And apparently they're not only just going to be fighting the human survivors, but it recently came out that there's going to be a big bad villain that Winnie the Pooh and the team all have to come together to fight. And I've got no idea who it is.
Oh, okay. You you were laying it out like you're about to drop some bombshell. You're setting it up. I'm like,
yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I am fascinated about though? As much as
Yeah.
that sounds like a really shitty multiverse for movies, you have heard that there's going to be a Squid Game like a cinematic universe.
I have.
Yeah.
I've got very low
How was
hopes
that
for it though.
segue? Do you
Yeah.
miss my ability on a
I
podcast? How was
do.
that segue, Mucky?
That segue was so good, man. You single-handedly saved the podcast from talking about Winnie the Pooh to talking about Squid Game. Yeah, no, normally with me, I just like don't stop talking until I'm done with the subject. And it's like, hey, you want me to move on? I'll move on. And I change subject. But yeah, I guess Squid Game, there was some news that, they're wanting to make a Squid Game America, an American version of Squid Game. It was lightly teased in the first season that, out of all the Squid Games, the Korean one is the most violent, sort of being like there's international versions of it.
Mm.
But it's America though. And it's Netflix, Kahuna. And something else. Oh, it's Netflix and it's America, right?
Yeah.
I was actually having to think about this just the other day. Can you name one like American movie that came out recently that was like extremely good?
Sinners.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet, but that's actually good though.
Very good. Very, very good.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, of course, there's got to be good movies.
I don't know. Like for me, I was really thinking about it, and the
Depends
last one
what
I
you mean
could
by
think
good,
of.
right? Like what's good?
Oh, I guess just like an interesting story, like lovable characters that you can like root
I
for
love
and stuff.
Deadpool last year,
Oh, true. Deadpool was a good one.
Wolverine was awesome. Like there's been good stuff.
Yeah.
As far as Netflix USA, Netflix makes the Korean one. So, actually this is what I heard today.
Okay.
Doing my research and preparation, the USA one is going to be directed by David Fincher.
David Fincher
directed Fight Club. He directed The Social.
Okay.
What is it called? The Social Network. He's freaking what's it called? Zodiac. He's like one of the best directors of all time. Like he's a legit, actual director. Like Fight Club. Like the Social Network was going to win Oscars. He's directing and he's doing Squid Game, so that's a pretty big deal.
That's good. Yeah,
hoping that they're not turning it into like. I mean, it is going to be a USA version, but it's in a director, like an auteur's hands. It's not pumping out the freaking SVU version of it, or the Law and Order version or something,
Yeah, because that's something I was like a little bit worried about, because the last movie I could think of from the top of my head was actually Top Gun Maverick, way back in 2022. And I was like, really? That's the last American film I actually enjoyed? What? Like, I was really
What about Winnie the Pooh?
That's UK.
Is it?
Yeah, it's made by people in England. Yeah.
There's got to be other movies that come out. Like, there's good movies. There's obviously Oscar-winning movies, that sort of thing. And like I said, depends what you mean by good, because a lot of the A24 movies have come out and like are considered artistic, good movies, but they're not necessarily blockbuster popcorn movies. So it depends what you mean by good. Like there's a lot of good movies being made. They're just this is where the movie industry is right now, right? And this is my analysis, probably very common. I don't think I'm anything special here. But when a studio, similar to Netflix as well, I would assume, but they're a little bit different. When a studio wants to, is a CEO or the head of a studio has investors and share public, they are incentivized, they are forced to make the maximum amount of profit possible all the time, right?
Mm.
So to be able to do that, they have to have either movies are now falling into two categories: super low budget, cheap movies where they can make their money back pretty easily, or massive, big budget like Marvel movies. Like it's one or the other. There's none of the middle ground, like 40, 50. They used to be like the 30, 40, $50 million movie, like the thriller movie or the smaller budget action movie or the buddy cop movie and all that. Like the comedy industry's gone. All that's like fucked because. Do you swear on this one? I'm sorry.
No, I swear all the time. It's all good.
Okay. Because it's hard, like making that. It's the middle ground has been eradicated. It's either big budget in order to make $1 billion, or low budget to no risk and we'll make our money back super easy. So the middle ground has kind of gone away, and it's a lot of that when you're talking about good, interesting movies, because it falls into those two categories. When you're making these big, massive $1 billion or hoping to be $1 billion movies, then you have to try to appeal to the broadest range of people possible as well. So that does take away a lot of the artistic elements to make something which is interesting and different and unique, because they're not trying to make something different and interesting and unique to put off people. They want to bring in as many people as possible. So you make something that's as palatable and easier to eat for as many people as possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I guess something I'm definitely missing, because I've seen a lot of Star Wars and it hasn't been great.
Star Wars, they're doing good stuff, aren't they?
Sorry, what's that?
Star Wars are doing great things on Disney, aren't they? The TV shows and stuff, at least.
So I think The Acolyte was one of the worst performing shows on Disney Plus. Have you heard much about The Acolyte? No, it was terrible. It was honestly so bad. It was terrible. With Andor, I haven't seen Andor yet. I'm waiting for all of it to come out.
I've heard Andor's really good.
Yeah, I've heard that it's good, but I've heard that the ratings weren't great for it. But I've heard that it's good, but not everyone's been into it.
And you love, what's her name? My childhood crush. You know, she's like the same age as me and started acting when I was 14 and coming into the same time frame as Rosario Dawson. Like she was in Kids. Yeah, she was in Kids when I was like 13, 14. She was 13, 14.
Oh, shit.
And I grew up as a fan while she grew up as an actress, kind of thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I've liked her since literally childhood or teenagehood.
Yeah, I should do like Rosario Dawson and the Ahsoka show. I thought the Ahsoka show was great.
Yeah, you love Ahsoka, right?
Yeah.
And what about
I've got to meet my wife? Look, Shinbadi also believes in Bigfoot, by the way. She strongly believes in Bigfoot. Okay. She even wrote down on the bottom here, Bigfoot is real. I will show it to you if you want. I will rip it off. And I actually got to meet another Star Wars actress.
So you don't hurt her.
Maybe. I was sort of just like standing there holding a knife. It's like, so do you believe in Bigfoot? Because I believe in Bigfoot.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, I was like, right, don't you believe in Bigfoot? Yeah, I just got to meet like a stunt actress for Ahsoka in the Clone Wars cartoon. She did all like the stunt work and stuff. And yeah, it was really funny actually, because her assistant for the stunt worker, the actress' name's Lauren. Her assistant runs the Star Wars props page, and turns out he's actually really good friends with Ivana or Shinbadi. And so I was wearing my hat out of Shinbadi. I think I have it. Here we go. Let me just switch hats real quick. Here we go. I love Shinbadi. You've got a cheeky autograph right here. He actually took a photo with me and sent it straight to her. And so, you know, I shifted all my attention from the lovely stunt actress to this Star Wars props guy, because I was like, oh, he's my way in, you know. Unfortunately, nothing's happened. But
nothing's eventuated?
No, nothing.
Again, you're setting up a story that I'm expecting some.
Yeah, sorry. Hey, buddy, you want to come join the podcast? Yeah, we're happily married now. Yeah. But no, I thought Ahsoka was really good though. And I know that the second season's currently filming at the moment, and from what I've heard about it, it sounds like they're going to really dive deep into the Force and stuff. And yeah, it sounds quite interesting. But anyways, I guess going straight back to Squid Game, something that I loved about it was that it just took the whole world by shock. Right, it was like the number one show on Netflix for like over a year. With the first season. And
it's COVID as well. We were looking for anything.
COVID too. Yeah, pretty much. Actually, I would love to hear your thoughts on season 2 because I don't think we spoke much on.
We didn't.
Season 2.
Yeah.
What was your overall thoughts on it?
So season 2, and obviously we'll talk about season 3, and then like I think that I want to talk about the world thing as well a little bit more too. So have you talked about season 2 extensively?
Not really.
Obviously, like my thing of season 2 is obviously I liked it. Like it was great watch, and the way it sort of ended on a cliffhanger like shits me, but I get it. But where it sort of was going, I'm torn a little bit. I'm in two minds. One, because it's obviously interesting. Like it's done well, and it's a good story, and the acting and all that sort of thing. I think having the front man like with him, like doing it again to him, like this instead of the old man, it's now the front man. But he's a great actor, and having them together, I thought was great. But where I'm torn is that as much as it's a great story of where it's going, him trying to bring it down and all that sort of thing, it's not the Squid Games anymore. It's now like some sort of action. It's not about the games anymore. It's about the overtaking of the complex and the action movie that is with the shooting and the guns and blah blah blah. It's not actually. They only played 2 games, didn't they? Or the second game had or 3.
Yeah, technically 3, including red light, green light. But yeah, it was like two new games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, red light, green light. Then the room with all the games, like the thing,
and then 5-legged race.
Get in the room one.
Yeah, and Mingle. Oh, Mingle was so good, man.
What's Mingle?
It was where you're on the merry-go-round, and then it would shout like a number, and you had to go into a room with that number of people.
Yeah. So, like, that's the bit where I'm a little bit disappointed because I was like, oh, this is really cool, but it's no longer about the Squid Game. It's about trying to end the Squid Game. And where it sort of leaves me a little bit funny, I'm really fascinated to see Squid Game USA and the expanding verse, because if they're trying to bring it down and into season 3 is about ending the Squid Game, why I think it's a little bit disappointing is because I don't even necessarily think they should have brought him back for season 2. I would have been happy for Squid Game itself to almost be like an anthology series.
Yeah.
Right? So it's perpetual. Like every season, it's like you've got a new cast, a new group of characters that you get to know their backstories, new games, and new ways that you get to see them do it. And you could technically, I know this is very like American to do, but you could technically run this show into the ground. You could have many seasons if you had refreshed things. Like this season was so great to have. Thanos was obviously huge. My son loves Thanos.
I love Thanos too. I almost died.
All these new characters were great, right? Yeah. But it was still focused on 4, 5, 6 when it's absolutely mentally insane that he would even come back, right? I get he's trying to do something good, but like I said, that goes against what we kind of loved about it in the first place, that it could be this backdrop for exploring in-depth characters, including their backstories and how they interact and all that sort of thing. It's almost like the Squid Game is like, have you seen the movie Cube?
No, I haven't seen Cube.
Okay, Cube is it's actually really dope, like movie making as well, the way they did it on such a small budget. So Cube is set in the future where these people wake up in just a room. It's like a futuristic, like metal room kind of thing. And there's an entrance on the ceiling, on each wall, and on the floor. So they're in a cube, right? But this cube is joined with other cubes, and all the other cubes have a person in them. They wake up, they're like, what are you doing? It's basically a futuristic prison. And the cubes like interact, like move like fucking like Harry Potter stairs. They sort of slide around like a Rubik's cube and stuff. So every now and then they're going to get into a different position, so you can never figure a way out because they're always moving and that sort of thing. So the whole thing is that like they're in this prison. It's a backdrop is this cube prison, but really it's a movie about exploring the people and their characters and the dialogue and interact, all that sort of thing. The prison is the backdrop, and getting out of it is the story. Same as Squid Game. I feel like it could just be, you can set a new Squid Game every season where you've got an amazing new cast, new stories, crazy shit you can happen, come up with new games all the time, all this sort of thing, and just have it going without it having to be 4, 5, 6 bringing it down. Because then if he does, it can start again, I guess, because we know it's around the world. But the actual proper Squid Game, the OG one, is going to be done because we want him to hopefully win. And if he doesn't bring it down, then what a fucking waste that was too. So I'm a bit weirded out with the way they've chosen to go, especially when they're trying to open up this cinematic universe by closing down the original one.
Yeah. Well, here's my theory, right? Because I've been thinking about this for a while. I think, Song Gyeon, I don't think he stops the games. I think he becomes a part of it. I think he joins the front man.
Oh, what?
And let me tell you why, right? So he's gone back. He's tried warning everyone. I don't think he actually did that great of a job when it comes to trying to stop the games. Like, he literally should have said, we did a game of marbles where we had to kill our partner. There will be times where you have to kill someone to go forward. This isn't, I feel confident in myself passing this test. It's you have to kill people to actually, move forward. That's what I would have tried and done. But, you didn't quite work with that angle. But I think, he's tried many times now to stop the vote, but the vote just keeps on being in favor of yes. He's now started a rebellion, which he watches closest friend get murdered right in front of him. And you probably saw in the trailer, there's like that new game, which I've sort of clocked as some kind of like hide and seek.
Can we
with the seeker? Yeah, sure thing. I'll pull it up.
Will you get nuked by YouTube or something?
I mean, I haven't yet. That'll be my next video.
Don't do the Netflix official channel. Do like some rando who's re-uploaded it or something.
Yeah. That'll be my next video.
Do a pause
Mucky
and breakdown
versus YouTube. True. Yeah. Mucky versus YouTube. YouTube strikes Mucky Hope Productions. There's a whole bunch of concept trailers, but not the actual. Boom. All right, I think I found the actual one, but there's just an ad playing. But one of the games that looks like it's like a hide and seek kind of thing, and I think the seeker has to kill the hider to move forward, or the hider has to escape somehow. And if they escape, then the seeker then gets eliminated. That's why I think when the game's
I am fascinated by the fact that we could have, like, if it expands. So you know what ones are gonna they believe they to have announced for the universe so far?
So I believe they've announced a American version, and then also like a series 1, where it's
so there's the first. Obviously, season 3 is coming out. Then there's going to be Squid Game USA, Squid Game 87, which is when the what's his name? I don't know how to say their names. Like, I forget all the Korean names, but the old man. It'll be 87, so 1987, when he started it. Then there's going to be Squid Game World. Global, I guess. Imagine a global Squid Game.
Oh my gosh, is this Squid Game Korea versus the world?
I don't know if it's versus or whatever, but Squid Game World and Squid Game 28.
Okay.
So the 28th Squid Game was when what's his name, the front man, won apparently. So he was a former winner.
Okay.
So it's going to
Yeah.
be his story of him going through the Squid Game. So they're the ones so far. But what I'm fascinated about Squid Game World is, excuse me, if we could have the memes that remember when we were like, oh, imagine if Squid Games was in Australia or New Zealand, and it's like the
Yeah,
games that
true.
we had growing up as kids and stuff, but they're the Squid Game version. So we're gonna have Squid Game World and Squid Game USA. I'm really fascinated to see how they do the actual USA games versus the Korean games because no one knows what the fuck the Squid Game is, you know?
Yeah. Well, all I want for Squid Game World is for Elijah Wood to be the winner of Squid Game New Zealand. You know, Frodo Baggins has won Squid Game New Zealand.
Squid Game I wonder if it's going to be winners, if they're going to have winners from around, like from different ones, like, you know, like Hunger Games style.
And I feel like they would have to because obviously you can't do Squid Game All Stars. And I mean, you probably could just bring back all the players like Sungwoo and Sabyok who died. Like them.
No, but do you have? No, you can't have people that you know got close.
Got close. It's second chance.
But I mean, like, if it's world, are they former represent? They won their country's one, or is it just they're from that country and they're competing at the world games, like the Olympic Games? They're not necessarily a former winner, but they are the representative of that nation, or they were stolen or kidnapped or trafficked from that country. It's voluntary though, right? So like, whatever it is, like, are you a former winner? Is it All Stars? Because you can't have that many competitors then, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just how many happens each year,
so
right?
80,
and how long it's been going
87.
for.
So we've got 38, 34, 37 Korean ones, assuming that that's probably the most. You could probably have however many countries around the world, USA. There's no fucking way New Zealand has a Squid Game going on.
I reckon we could have a Squid Game going on. You know, right now, everything's getting more expensive. More people's losing their jobs. The pay isn't going up. Everything's getting more expensive. I reckon we could do a Squid Games.
Yeah, but who's like who's the billionaires that want to watch that?
Christopher Luxon, the Prime Minister.
But you get the people come in and they go, oh, so if we're gonna do, they're like, no, bro, no way, bro, I'm not doing that.
Just one of the game is like a wolf in sheep's clothing. You're stuck in a paddock overflowed with sheep, but there's secretly a wolf in there. But we would have to import the wolf from somewhere.
I watch New Zealand Squid Game nearly every day.
Really?
A version of it. It's probably not New Zealand. I think they're Australian anyway, but a lot of Maori people. Have you seen the videos of like I think it's called Run It Up. I don't know what it's called, but it's basically just run at each other with a football and the other guy has to tackle you, but it's one-on-one. So
I have seen stuff like that,
yeah, like that'd be Squid. Let's run into each other. Whoever survives, just tackle each other to death. All Blacks win.
Yeah, the Australian one is you have to go up against like Jaden, Uso Jaden. It's like you have to survive being tackled by. Oh gosh! All right, I do have the trailer up, so we can go through with it. Do you want to watch it just straight, and then we go back and stop and pause, or how do you want to go through it?
It's your show, man.
All right. I reckon we go through it straight, and then we can just keep on flip-flopping like back and forth. Let me know if you can hear the audio.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Baby crying.
Oh, really? Well, to be fair, this trailer was like it mixed up all of its clips, so it wasn't in like normal order. I will quickly find the official trailer because I memorize where
there's got to be, there's videos out there, like, because I watch a channel called New Rockstars, and I know Watch Mojo does it, but there's channels that will do like breakdowns of the trailer, every Easter egg, every like blah blah blah,
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess the first one that we kind of saw is is a Gihan. Let me just present my my screen again. He is brought in as a cheeky coffin. I'll leave it on mute so then we don't get hit by strike. But also Shimbadi fan edit right there, just saying respect. Yeah, so everyone sort of gathers around and he's the only one that's brought back. I actually wonder what everyone's reactions are going to be, being like, oh shit, the ringleader, out of all the people, the ringleader is one who made it back alive. Do you get what I mean? Like, do you think they would...
The cliffhanger that it ended on was them storming the castle, essentially, right?
Yeah, so the cliffhanger ending was that
they were done. They lost, right?
Yeah, so all done. Yeah, so they killed everyone that was left from the rebellion. But was it I'm also a little bit bad with the names, but Hunju, the transgendered character, and the ex-marine who was going through some kind of PTSD traumatic event, made it back to the main room.
And refused to go back.
Well, no, because that's when the pink soldiers came out. But since they shot all the cameras in that room, they have no idea who actually went out to fight and who didn't. And so that's obviously this sort of way of being like, see, that's why these characters aren't being killed. But I do wonder what's going to be the reaction to, especially from everyone who wanted to continue the games and maybe everyone who wanted to stop as well, of out of everyone to survive, it's the ringleader, the guy who's played the games before and trying to end this whole thing. He started a rebellion and everyone else was killed except for him. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so you're saying that looks sus. He's going to be a front man. He's being put back in as a thing.
No, so what I think, right, is that I think he's had failure after failure, right? And because something that I'm most interested in, and I actually really wanted to see like a frontman prequel, so I'm really happy that we are going to be getting that, is what made him go from, really broke, I think his wife was pregnant or something like that as well, to then competing in the games, to winning, his wife being killed. Because we saw with the mentality of the recruiter, right? Where it's like everyone that does the games are just pieces of trash. And the ones who wins it are just lucky enough to climb out of the dumpster. That is their worldview on people who are in poverty, right? Mm. So what made that switch happen for the front man to be like, yeah, these kinds of people are pieces of shit, and I want to run the games and watch them die and win and stuff like that. And I think we might be getting a similar arc with Gihan, where maybe he's gonna be forced to potentially kill someone. He's gonna watch people vote to continue the games time and time again and do really horrible, brutal shit to each other. And maybe that's just gonna make him snap and be like screw humanity. There's no good in humanity whatsoever. So that's sort of my hot prediction.
Interesting. I don't know. I feel like he just is such a massive, like, he spent millions and like months and months and paying all those gangsters to try to find a recruiter every day at the train station, every train station in South Korea, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
And then to lead a rebellion, it's such a big thing for him. I don't know if he'll Like it would be like such a heel turn. Like like it would have to be something massive to get him to do that.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, do you
I guess.
think in season 2, do you
Oh
think the
yes.
mother and son were based off of the reality show?
Oh, I did think that. I did think
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I do wonder if maybe like this is a great dynamic. We've got to add this in.
Yeah,
I do think.
so
Yeah.
because they were obviously very popular as well. And then
Yeah.
like, oh, they put it. I was like, that's pretty cool. If it was a nod to it or whatever, but obviously they got really good storylines out of it too. But that's what I
Yeah.
was talking about. I appreciated that they had that in there. That you can have characters like Thanos. We get to know the front man, but we also had the bit with the B plot with the guards smuggling body parts
Mm,
and the
yeah.
the sniper that didn't want to that was sniping them in the head, so they couldn't actually take them and all that. So
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Like I feel like they're setting it up so you could really have a lot of really cool storylines set within the world of
Mm,
Squid Game, and they kind of are by expanding the universe out. But
yeah.
I feel like if they just left it without 4, 5, 6 and just had it as a anthologies, a new batch of people every season, who are you going to back? Who are you going to go for? Who are you going to
Mm,
pick? Rather than it just automatic like 4, 5, 6 being the
yeah.
superhero that he is. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a missed opportunity there, but we do get to see it conclude with him and then have other things open up with Squid Game USA,
Yeah.
Squid Game World, and stuff like that. So, yeah,
Yeah. No, that's actually a good point you bring up because I do like a lot of the characters, but I'm not like they kind of have like that one trait about them. Like you've got Hunju, who's the transgender character. You've Junhee, the pregnant lady. You have the mother and son. You've got Thanos, a gangster. His sidekick, who's like a bully kind of thing. You've got Minsu. I call him the coward because he sucks and he does nothing. Um, yeah, he's a guy
which one's
that
that?
he was like the short guy who always hanged around Thanos
Oh,
and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so him. Um, but like comparing them to season one characters, I felt like those were like way more fleshed out. Like obviously we had the episode where we got to see like their backstories on why they needed to be a part of the games and stuff like that. And while it wasn't as many characters, I felt like a lot of them were actually like really fleshed out. So then when they were eventually killed off, like it had a much more heavier sort of impact to it, if that makes sense. Whereas I guess
yeah,
full spoilers for season 2 as well. In the Mingle game, when that chick died, the one who was friends with like the mother and son and the transgender character, when
yeah.
she was like, like pushed out the door and Mingle and the guy like closed it in, like I didn't really like I was like, oh, that's a bit shit. But there wasn't anything that really like hit home because I remember bawling my eyes out when like Ali was killed in Marbles, when Sabiok, when she was killed right at the very end of season 1, right? But I don't feel the same with season 2 characters because we haven't spent much time with them.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt there were times I remember. It's all like getting in my old man memory banks now. But I do remember there were times I was like, oh shit! Like I was like, especially maybe more because of the brutality or the shock of it as
Mm,
opposed to the connection to the character, man. But yeah, I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, nothing wrong with the characters. I still like all the characters, but I just don't feel as personally connected to them. So maybe if there wasn't a continuation of Gihan's story and Gihan the front man, maybe we would have potentially gotten that. I'm not too
Well,
sure,
yeah,
but
exactly. You can get a
yeah,
new batch, and they can have a new star. They can have a new Gihan every
mm,
season. Who is going to be the winner? They can obviously focus on
yeah,
them a lot, but you could just come up with so much cool shit. You have a girl win it. You have a woman winning it. You have whatever. Like it comes down to the they can't do it now, but I'm saying like one season, the mother and son, or there's a romance happens, and then they get to the final two. What happens with the couple that fell in love at Squid Game and all. There's heaps of shit that you can do. So, and I feel like that. I mean, they're probably going to do it with the other ones, I guess, because there's a million storylines. But one thing that I am interested in. Do you watch a lot of K-pop? Not K-pop, K-drama, K-movies?
Sometimes. So, like, Squid Game was my first one. I've now watched Train to Busan. Love that movie. I've seen, what is it? All of Us Are Dead. I've seen that. Excited for season 2 to come out for that as well. And I've seen a couple others. I don't remember their names, but I've had friends like stream them to me over Discord and stuff.
Okay.
So I've seen
not
it
watched. I don't watch any of it. I'm not across it any. But one thing about Squid Game is one thing I'm not familiar with a lot of Korean drama and stuff, but I grew up watching a lot of kung fu movies and stuff like. And I get the same vibe where I think it's just a stylistic thing for the various countries, but a lot of the expression and the acting is cartoonish and over the top, right?
Yeah.
It's more exaggerated, and it's not necessarily because it's bad acting. It's just that's the style of Korean cinema kind of thing, right? Things are a lot more pronounced and a little bit more exaggerated. The characters are a little bit more turned up, so they're a little bit more cartoonish and things like that. A lot of the times with Thanos, I just thought he was freaking cringe. I was like, he's not the thing because it's just so over the top. But I know it's just the style of Korean cinema and stuff. Everything is a little bit more emphasized, and I'm really fascinated to wonder how that will translate to a Squid Game USA and a Squid Game world, especially with someone like David Fincher, who does very muted, serious, like low energy kind of stuff a lot of the time. Like it's I'm fascinated with that contrast it's going to have, because you're talking about how you didn't like the characters. One of the reasons why I didn't feel like I connect with the characters as much is because a lot of them feel like just one note stereotypical drawn, like over amplified versions of what a normal character would be.
Yeah. I personally loved Thanos the most. Like, he was the main highlight for me with season 2, especially in Mingle, how it starts off with this group, but just gets smaller and smaller as the game goes on, whether he's just kicking people out, forcing them to do paper, scissors, rock on the spot, and like all the dancing he's doing in the background as well. I loved him as a character, but the one thing I did not really like was that he was taking drugs. I think if we had a character who's just like an absolute nut job from the get-go, kind of similar to like the crazy chick from season 1, I think I would much more like prefer that overall, because he pushed people over in red light, green light. And I reckon when I saw that on the trailer, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be someone who understands straight away what he needs to do in order to win. And that's to just start killing people, as many people as he can, right? Especially because when I play Roblox, Squid Game, or Crab Game, that's all I do. I just try and screw people over.
Yeah, but I think the drugs is a really good way to like, then you're just straight up talking about an absolute psychopath, right? Like in real life, if this is it's meant to be real life, not Roblox. It's very difficult for people to kill people, I think.
Yeah.
So
I just do it every other day.
The drugs is a good motivation. Like it explains why and how he's doing that so callously and so crazily, because nobody acts that mental. It's the drugs, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Anyway,
but also, like, I don't understand why he was that scary. I feel like I'd fuck him up.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like the gangster guy from the first season was like way scary. It's like, oh shit, you do not want to mess with this guy.
Yeah, Thanos wasn't scary to me, except because he's crazy. But he didn't have like big thugs with him or anything like that. Like, I don't know why he wasn't intimidating to me.
Yeah. But sometimes it's not about the thugs you meet, it's about the thugs you meet along the way. Like, was the gangster guy really the villain of the first season? No, it was Sung Woo, the best friend. All right, it's all
and
about
the
the
front man as
baddies.
well.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm so sad Frontman's not going to be in the games anymore. Like, I loved seeing him play in all the games. But let's continue with this trailer though. So Gihan, he wakes up. You got the cheeky Netflix sign. Now, here's something I want to talk about, right? So with this new game, right? So my hot cheeky prediction is that it's hide and seek. But before we talk about hide and seek, it's Chardude. Oh my god, it is Kahuna. You're damn right, Chardude, it's Kahuna.
What's up,
We're here to chat about Squid Game Season 3. We'll eventually get to Australia vs. World. I swear you disappeared. Yeah, but it's not about the disappeared. He's now appeared. Because he's no longer a dis. You know, he is here. And yeah. No, once again, I'm just so grateful to have you back on the podcast, Kahuna. You're an absolute G.
See you, Charlie, dropping in on my old buddy.
Yeah. And this stream just got so much more hype, especially because you're here, Chardude. If it was anyone else, I wouldn't have read out their comments. But because it's you, of course, brother, of course. Yeah, so anyways, with this game, Kahuna, because we've seen a few shots in the trailer where they're sort of walking around like a town village kind of area.
Yeah.
And it looks very similar to like where they played marbles, right? And my hot prediction is hide and seek. So it's going to be a 1v1 matchup, right, between two people. One of them has the knife, which is the seeker, and the other one, I think I saw another breakdown where someone mentioned that the hiders have a key. And you have to try and find your way out, but it's the seeker's job to try and kill you. And if neither or happens within the time limit, then both of you, get eliminated. Otherwise, the seeker, if they kill you, the seeker lives. If the hider gets out, then it's the seeker who dies.
Right.
And that's my hot prediction for what I think is going to happen.
That's a good way to do hide and seek.
Yeah.
But what's in there though? What are they hiding in?
What they're hiding in? Well, so they got like the balls, and it looks like you get to pick your team. So Song Young's got red. Oh,
I like how they're gotcha balls too.
Yeah. Now just before we continue talking about the other game, we've got all the VIPs here. And something that someone pointed out online is, you recall the guy who was like, if you can satisfy me in 5 minutes or change your life, he's not here.
I don't remember that dude, but okay.
Oh, okay. He was one of the VIPs, and he was like really disgusting, weird, and grossed everyone out. And something that I saw online, which I thought was interesting, was what if he... I mean, I don't think he's this person, but could be he's the old guy who's like 10 billion won in debt.
Right.
You know how there's like that old guy who's like being like, one more game. That guy?
Yeah.
What if they're maybe the same person? I mean, I doubt it, but I thought it was an interesting theory nonetheless.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then we go from here. So we've got, some walking around, the place. See how this kind of, I mean, I guess not really like a town like Marbles, but some sort of setups. It's like a maze. So that Gihan's walking away from a dead body. He's got 456. Oh my God. Is that because he's also numbered 456? Crazy. Who would have thought? Crazy Kahuna.
After they squashed the rebellion, they just put him back in the game.
I think so, yeah. Yeah. Well, because I think they have to leave him as like a... Because I think what the front man was trying to do the whole time was to find a way to break Gihan, right? Like, I think when he tied the vote, I don't think he was voting to end the games. I think the front man knew that by tying the vote, that's when people were going to start killing each other. Right. Or that's when the ideas were going to start coming in. That's why they're all given the forks, right? With their meal that night. And even in Mingle as well, something that I found really funny was the whole time Frontman's just like staring him down as Gihan's like watching people, get killed and stuff. So I think the front man's just trying to break Gihan into thinking like his sort of way or whatnot. But yeah, so we see Gihan walks past a dead body, maybe someone who he kills, or it's just someone else from the previous game. I don't know. You got the cheeky front man, called the Bulls. So we kind of get a little bit of a look in the teams. So you see that the mother and the son are actually divided, and I do actually have a list on who's on which team, just based off like people really zooming on trailer. So on the red team, it's Gihan, MG Coin, I think his actual name's Myonggi, the pregnant chick, the mother, the bully sidekick, and Min Soo, who's the cowed kind of short person that was with him. So that's red, and the blue team's is Hunju, the transgender character, the son, the guy who had like a PTSD trauma breakdown, the I don't know what to call her, but the one who sees all the spirits and stuff.
The witch.
The witch, yeah, the witch is on blue. And the old guy who's like, one more game, is also on the blue team.
All right.
Yeah. And yes, we see the mother son is separate. It's time. I also see the voting is happening again. I assume this is straight after when the rebellion happens, because Song Gyeon's actually handcuffed. Maybe he gets handcuffed so then he can't start any more rebellions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, to watch them vote yes again.
Yeah. And maybe that's why he snaps. It's just my hot... Bro, Kahuna's so confused. No, don't you worry, Charlie. We're on the same
yes after all that. I thought they forced... I'm like, how do you even do the games now? Like, no one would do... Like, they'd vote no automatically, right?
I mean, I feel like that's what a normal person would do, right? But I guess what I find so fascinating about Squid Game and why I'm so hooked onto it is it's like the Hunger Games, except unlike the Hunger Games, you're choosing to do it, right?
Well, that's why I thought maybe there would have been like, the punishment for this rebellion is you don't longer get a choice. You're all in the Squid Game now. You know, like,
maybe.
But giving them a vote still, it's crazy.
Yeah. And because, like, I was going to say, obviously, it's not just ordinary people. These are really desperate. Majority of them owe like millions of won, like in poverty, homeless.
Bro, some of the when I looked at the conversion, some of them I'm like, that dude owes 40 grand. What are you doing there? Like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, just walk down to the bank. Kia ora, bro. Can I just grab 40 grand? I'm just in debt. But yeah, so he's handcuffed. Oh yeah, so we get that kind of looks like a key. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah.
So maybe the red team are like the hiders or something. Oh, but the blue team gets something as well. And it's the same shape.
What are you basing hide and seek off of? Because like it just looks like an open room. Where are they hiding?
Well, I mean, it kind of looks like a maze, right? So yeah, you got the transgender character there. So we could come here. See how it's like kind of like a maze?
Okay.
So my whole sort of thing of hide and seek, I reckon there's a 1v1. Maybe one person starts one and one person starts another. Maybe there's like a door. Maybe it's like a Dead by Daylight game instead of hide and seek. Okay, you got to find your way out, but you got to kill her, you know?
Yeah, that's all right. That's cool.
Yeah, so you got the... Or maybe it's the blue team that's the hiders. Because, you know, we saw that there was like that knife symbol earlier.
Yeah.
But obviously, Hunjo isn't holding a knife. And we do know that they are very capable of using a gun and weapons as well. So, yeah, they're going to fight. So that's Min Soo there, the coward character that I sort of brought up. He's obviously petrified by something. Not sure what. you know, the front man watching. So they're just choosing what team that they're on. Here's something that's a bit new to what we've chatted about. The pink soldier chick. What was your sort of thoughts on her in season 2?
Yeah, like I said, I'm excited to see that they were actually characters. There's people behind the mask. You know what I mean? Like, and there's stories there to be told. I want to know more about her.
Yeah.
So she was the one that's basically saying, like, is she like a purist? Is she like, no, we have to respect the Squid Game. That's why I want to kill them properly, and you can't harvest their bodies or whatever.
She's gonna be the leading pink soldier in the Squid Game world. You know, she's like, yeah, we're gonna do this properly.
Yeah, she's like an actual like purist. She's for the cause.
Yeah, we do have a comment here by Childhood. Did you know Katniss and Peter were based on Amber and Rob as the director of Hunger Games Love Survivor?
Wow. Really?
That's actually pretty bloody cool. I hope that's true. That's actually so sick. And do you think we'll get a new rendition of Fly Me to the Moon? Maybe add in another red light, green light. Well, that was you recall how at like the end of season 2 there was like that mid-credit scene, right? And it kind of had the red light, green light doll and like that the boy doll there as well.
Oh, right.
Did you see that? I saw a lot of speculation online.
Triggering something now, but I can't remember properly.
Yeah, I recall seeing something online where apparently this game is like a Jack and Jill kind of thing where you had to have like a massive bucket of water and you got to like carry it up the steep hill to get from Jack to Jill or something like that. But the red light, green light doll is maybe adding a red light, green light version of that in there. And something else that someone picked up was, you know how in the first season they had all the games like along the walls?
Yeah.
Someone had found that there was like a monkey buzz kind of thing on the wall. So that could be pretty yeah, so in season 2.
Oh, not in the trailer. In season 2.
No, not in the trailer. In season 2, yeah. When they looked closely at one of the images, it looked like people were dangling off like monkey bars like this. So maybe there's like the new like glass bridge kind of thing. Monkey bars. How good is your upper body strength? RIP mine's pretty shit too. If it's anything to do with legs, I'm fine. But if it's upper body, I'm shit. There's no other way around it. Oh, and if we go back real quick, for me, when I immediately saw this guy, does that guy look very familiar to you?
No, I don't know.
He's the father of the kid with cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's alive. He got shot during the rebellion.
Right.
So maybe he was shot by the pink soldier chick and she's trying to keep him around. But now, so he's back. It's turning into Star Wars now. You don't die when you get shot. Got more of the walking around. Got more of the deciding factor. The bro finally finds the island. There you go, the pink soldier chick right there, waiting to storm in. Didn't he die? Well, it's Star Wars now, Chardu. Nobody bloody dies. The brother, he survived. Something that I did find pretty funny was all the memes that came from him in season 2, where it's like, if you ever feel useless, don't forget that this guy spent years, well, all of season 2 trying to find an island, and he didn't even he didn't find it. Police investigator my ass, you know. I've a weird feeling. Here's another prediction I had as well. Like when I saw they're doing the organ plot again, my prediction is that they're gonna sail back to South Korea, and they're gonna be like, "Oh no, we couldn't find anything. I guess everyone is dead now." But then he's gonna then find the organ donation thing, and then he's gonna follow that to the main island.
Okay, that makes sense.
How I think it's yeah. That's my sort of cheeky hot prediction. So you kind of got like the key right there. You recall how before
Same as
there's
the
like
other
a
one,
knife? Yeah. So you got like, what is it? If I can find it again. So you got like the knife here, and the other one kind of looked like a keyhole. Yeah, that's my sort of. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Is the
that's my
knife the
sort of
key?
cheeky. The knife could be the key. But what's this then? A gun? It's a lightsaber. We're sticking with Star Wars. It's actually a lightsaber. Before, yeah. So you got the knife there again. So sort of looking through the keyhole to the knife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the knife could be the key. I don't know. I'm feeling that one person has to kill the other, like kind of thing. You got VIP. You got another closer look at the Pickle Soldier check. More VIPs. The bro breaks in. MG Coin. He's in the maze area once again during the game with blood all over his face. So clearly he fights someone or kills someone. And you got the mum who's crying as well. And something that I saw someone point out online is that what is it? So throughout season 2, she's got like the knife in her hair.
Yeah.
Right? But she doesn't have it here. So does she have to use it on someone?
Her son.
But would she kill her own son? I don't think so. I feel like she's the type of person who would like sacrifice herself for her son.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe, I don't know, he just snatches off it and kills himself or something. Because that was actually probably my favorite moment in Mingle. If I had to pick one moment that I love so much in the Mingle game, it's when the son gets snatched up by those two guys and he sort of leaves his mum. And he's not really like resisting or fighting back because he sort of just wants to live. And like, when she also survives that as well and they reunite, they both know what happened, but they just don't want to believe it happened. Phenomenal acting and just great moment in general. Oh, you got like the cheeky cash prize there as well. So someone obviously still does win.
Fast cards, eh?
Oh god, I just bloody missed it. But you saw the big pile of cash though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so someone obviously still does win. And then you've got the bro there. And then you get Jun Hee. And obviously they've got the sound of the baby crying as well.
Yep.
Which something I said, I don't know if you watched my initial thoughts video, but I said that, this kind of cheating of the baby spawns in over halfway through. So maybe that's where we will get the new rendition of Red Light, Green Light. I mean, not Red Light, Green Light, Fly Me to the Moon. You got to put the baby through all the games that they've done, catch them up to speed. But yeah,
Baby in
that's
Squid
pretty much
Game.
the trailer.
Squid Baby.
What is your thoughts going into season 3? Like, are you expecting it to have like a good ending, like a bad ending where the bad guys win or where the good guys win? How do you think it's all going to end?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll always leave the door open. Like, it'll probably be like he takes it down or whatever, and it's finished. But then the closing shot is 456 has like the front man mask behind him or something. Like, I don't know. You're probably right. They probably maybe leave it as a little teaser twist at the end or something. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah,
but
and
like I said, I'm excited that it's actually going to go back into Squid Game because I was like, how do you even come back from that? Like, the Rebellion was like an action movie from the 80s, and then now you just go back into the game again. Like, I'm glad we're going to get more games. I want to see that was the games and the world, like as far as the set design and all that, was way more interesting than the actual Rebellion bit itself.
Yeah. And like, there's something as well that I found really funny about the Rebellion part as well, because I saw one of my favorite movie reviewers pointed out, and I went back and watched it. So when they first take over the room, they say check the pockets and all the guards for more ammo. Yeah. So they do that straight away, and then later on in the fight, it's oh my god, we're out of ammo. Quickly go back and grab that ammo from the pockets. It's like they already did that, but they obviously needed to find a way to bring those two characters
back
to the main room. That would make sense, because why on earth would they keep them alive during the rebellion? Charlie reckons it's a chess piece. There's something I have heard online as well. It's a pawn. They're doing human chess. And no, they definitely will finish it. It's Gihan sacrificing himself. I feel like that is just so obvious. I don't know, because my prediction is that I reckon he becomes like another front man. Or maybe like he makes it to the end and he has to fight the front man, and he realizes once again he's been duped. You know, everyone who he thinks is on his side is actually turned against him. He's got nothing really to live for but back at home. And
see,
maybe so becomes front man.
The issue is like, so if they're setting up a cinematic universe, right? So far, what we have is out of Korea. The upcoming will be season 3. Then we've got 1987 and the 28th Squid Game. Both of those are prequels, right? There's nothing coming out of the Korean version of Squid Game that says there's a future of it. But there is a USA, there is a world. So, you know, maybe the Korean one does get shut down, and the ones around the rest of the world are like, oh, are a reaction to it, or, you know, I don't know. But the fact that there's nothing in the pipeline yet, like, that's just the immediate plans. Obviously, they're going to try to expand it as much as they can, you know, Squid Game kids, Squid Game cartoons, you know, all that sort of thing. But what we're seeing there, it shows that it could actually be shut down. And the way they've done it so far, if they had done what I said, where it was more of an anthology series, they didn't bring him back again, and they just had a new cast, then you could have it ongoing forever. But the fact that they wrote it about him and made it about him, there's also the element of, like, I'm not 100% familiar with Korean cinema, but I've been led to believe he's like, you know, a legit big time proper actor.
Yeah.
Like, does he want to keep doing Squid Game forever, or is he 3 seasons? Yeah, he's like, yeah, I can do 3 seasons. I'm not doing more. You're gonna make me the front man? Like, what's this for? You know?
Well, it was actually really sad. So, you know, I spoke about at the start of this podcast that the Acolyte was really shit. The actor for Gihan was in the Acolyte, and he learned English for the role.
Right.
Like he learned English, and his acting in it is actually so good, but the whole show is just shit. Like he was really carrying the show on his back.
Right.
Don't you think Gihan would rather kill himself than be front man? Squid Game Australia, bloody Tackle Bull Rush was one of the games. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's just gonna be broken down to a pulp, really. Like, that's sort of my hot predictions of Gihan. I think he's gonna be broken down to the very end, where he gives up on humanity.
The only way I could see him doing a Squid Game thing is if, say, he wins again or whatever, right? And now he's got like even way more money. I could see him being the front man of a flipped Squid Game, where they do they get millionaires and billionaires to run the Squid Game. No choice. So like Hard Target style, like Hunger Games.
Okay.
So I could see him doing it where, to flip it on the people that put them through it, he kidnaps and basically forces millionaires and the masked people to run through it. But I don't even know if he would do that. That's the only way I could see him really buying into the Squid Game concept, is if it was actually for good. I don't think he would just snap and be like a horrible piece of shit after going through all that.
Yeah, it'd actually be really funny if that is what happens, because what if he accidentally finds previous winners of the game and then forces them to be part of his new Squid Game? It's like, you know, when Robin Hood steals from the rich and gives it to the poor, and the poor is like, "Yay, I'm rich," and they're like, "What did you just say?"
Well, I mean, also, I think there's obviously, like, if we're going to get into the politics of the show and stuff, and how people like that the capitalistic society is forced, all this pressure, and that there's rich people, and the gap between the rich and the poor is getting bigger and bigger, forcing to do more desperate things and all that sort of thing, which is obviously very true. Like, I would imagine he wouldn't see someone who won the lotto, who won the Squid Game, as the same. Like, if you win the lotto, you're not like a capitalistic billionaire that got it by, basically keeping people down. You won the lotto.
Yeah.
They were a poor person who won. Like, that's the thing. The only way I could see him do it with previous winners as well is if they were like previous winners had done some particularly heinous shit to win. Like, if everyone does horrible shit, but like if there was, just an absolute monster or whatever, then maybe he would include them. But I feel like they've built him up to be a good guy. Like, we love him and have built him so much. A heel turn to finish the series and end the series and make him a bad guy without actually continuing on and telling that story, I feel like would be just a little bit too much of a betrayal, unless it is just that final twist of oh, cool. It was like a final, like I said, you just see the mask behind him, kind of thing as a tease twist,
Yeah. Well, I guess something that I do want to, quickly go through is we've got so many characters left to go through. Some are alive, some are dead. This is the list of season 2 characters. But I guess to start with our main boy here, Song Gi-on. Do you reckon he's going to live throughout the entire season 3?
I probably actually no, I don't know. Actually, it could be really 50-50. You either get him to win, or he does some sort of sacrifice and it's super sad and we all cry. But maybe the girl with the baby win, like, he dies for her or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I could see him being the heroic death or the winner.
Yeah, I have a strong feeling that he still wins. He either becomes a bad guy or he is just like the last winner and does pretty much what you say. I mean, I don't know. He could also be killed off. I feel like there'd be like a shocking kind of like blow.
Yeah.
Right at the very end. Maybe he pulls right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Next character, the front man. What do we think? Is he going to make it through the whole show? Do you reckon he does?
Gi-on kills him.
You reckon that Gi-on is going to kill him?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, to be honest, I do actually agree with. I do actually agree with that. Maybe his brother kills him. Actually, not. Yeah, I can see his brother killing him. Yeah, but yeah, I guess we're both in agreement that the front man is only gets taken down, and I guess the investigator. What do you think?
Dies.
You reckon he dies at the very end?
I don't know. Probably.
I reckon if Gi-han, if he turns to the dark side, right? I reckon that's going to be like the shocking thing. That's like, wait, is he evil? Is he not? Maybe he's like the winner, and he turns to the dark side or something, and like the investigator shows up, and then he shoots him. Or a hot prediction. I reckon Gi-han and Frontman have a love affair. Have you seen those AI clips, by the way?
That would be hot. No.
Like, I've seen like on Facebook, like AI clips of Gi-han and the Frontman just making out. Like grabbing each other's faces, like tongue, like neck deep with tongue. Yeah, it's nuts.
Sounds like you've watched them a lot.
Anyway, so moving on. We've got MG Coin right here. I don't know. For me personally, he's kind of been built up as sort of like an in-game kind of villain. Similar to Sung-woo. Like, we've seen that he's willing to, obviously he threw everyone, including his ex-girlfriend, under the bus, for his whole, his cryptocurrency. We saw that he's willing to kick people out of the way and mingle, and obviously he's not afraid to fight those who stand sort of against him. But I reckon he dies towards the end.
Well, I mean, the nature of Squid Game is that there's one winner. Everyone's gonna. That's why, I thought the rebellion aspect is the only way you to actually end the game is the only way to get people to survive.
Well, I guess there's something else we can talk about. Do you think there'll be another sort of rebellion with the police investigator, with the pink soldier working with him? You've obviously got the father there as well.
For a reason. And they're gonna the confrontation with the front man gonna end it all. There's gonna be another thing for sure.
Yeah. So do you reckon that we will make it down to one person left, or do you reckon that there will be a team of characters left towards the end?
I don't know. I think there'd be a few. I don't know if they want to kill, but I mean, in Squid Game 1, they had no problem killing everyone. You got to kill everyone off, and even characters, like you said, part of it is that you were so affected by the deaths. So maybe we will have that. And they've got another season worth here, or at least half a season, 6 episodes, to get those characters to the point where you would be shocked and sad when they die.
Yeah. But no, I do think MG Coin, unfortunately, will be taken out towards the end. We've got this brother right here, who had the PTSD / traumatic kind of trip during the rebellion. I think he's the first character to die off.
Right.
Maybe he sacrifices himself because he feels really bad that that the best friend was killed during the rebellion because he kind of screwed it up by not bringing the extra magazines to everyone. So I think he goes out of his way to save everyone and dies, really early on the show. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't even remember much of it, to be honest with you. I should have re-watched the season, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I do remember he's having the freak out, and I could see in wanting to have, make it up to them kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sacrifice themselves. Yeah.
And this guy, the father, I don't really know. Maybe he lives.
Like I said, unless the games are halted by interference again, then they're all going to die. A lot of them are going to die.
Yeah. Well, because he's not in the games anymore. Because he was shot during the rebellion.
Oh, yeah, right. Of course.
Yeah.
What am I saying? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about him. I think he probably survives, or if it's a bad guy wins, and he obviously dies. It's sort of you don't want evidence leaving Squid Game. Yeah. And then next character, here we go. The Hunjo, the transgender character. I really hope they live, to be honest. I actually really loved their character throughout season 2.
Yeah,
so I'm really hoping that they live. Yeah. Yeah. So what's your predictions? Do you reckon that they will be taken out, or one of the last few standing?
If they're going to bring it down to the finals, then she will be one of the final few. I think she's one of the bigger characters. But if they are going to bring it down to hardly anyone left, then a lot of people are going to die. I don't know how we can say anyone's going to survive except for Gihan if we think it's going to come down that far, unless it's stopped with the investigator and Pink Soldier and all that, then she would be one of the survivors for me.
Yeah, they had such great character development. I 100% agree. We've also got the son. I think the son dies in the hide and seek game.
He's gone.
He's gone. Which I guess this us to the mother. I think the mother's going to go out.
Yeah, mom's going to die too.
Do you reckon she maybe dies in the game, or do you reckon she kills herself or something because she loses her son?
Maybe not kills herself, but maybe tries to attack one of the soldiers, or does it in a rage kind of thing, or something like that. I could see.
Yeah. And I guess speed run through the next character. Oh, the brother here's already dead. The pregnant lady, Johnny.
Yeah, see, that's hard to kill a young mum with a brand new baby on a TV show. So that's tough. But again, like if only one survivor, then what the hell? What are they going to do with the baby in this show as well?
That's what I'm wondering. Does the baby maybe? Is the baby? I felt for drama aspect, they're going to have the baby at the games, and maybe because I could see something similar with Sabiok, where it's like she's right there at the very end. We all sort of want her to win. Maybe she goes into labor because obviously the Squid Game, like the guards, they won't help you if you're bleeding out or anything. They'll just let you die.
Baby,
so maybe she dies of childbirth or
baby,
something.
though, right?
Yeah. As I said, put the baby through red light, green light.
Yeah.
And do you reckon a baby can do Dalgona with the cookies?
Have you seen him? Yeah, absolutely. Babies can do no. Have you seen a movie called Shoot 'Em Up?
It rings a bell. What's the movie about again?
It's got Clive Owen and Monica Bellucci. And basically he carries a baby around in like a full-on shooting action movie and has a baby like the whole time shooting his gun and that. And there's a lot of action sequences trying to protect this baby. So I can imagine that the baby might be in some pretty hectic situations while they're trying to keep the baby alive. You know what I mean? Through a game. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, she's one of the characters who's like, I want her to survive, but because of Squid Game, I don't think she will. I think she'll be like the heartbreaking person who dies right at the very end.
Yeah.
The Pink Soldier chick.
I
reckon she lives.
You reckon?
I reckon she lives. Yeah. I reckon she helps Gihan.
Yeah, so do I, but she dies.
Oh, you reckon she dies while trying to do so?
Yeah, trying to help you.
Maybe. Because I can also see, like, maybe, like, if there's, like, a twist dark ending that sort of talks about, maybe she escapes the island or something, and that's, like, the teaser of, oh, she's gonna be now in the Gihan spot. Yeah, trying to take down the guys who go in. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And then, here we go, though. I mean, she's very clearly going to die, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very clearly going to die, and I can't wait. It's so satisfying. Winnipeg. This guy or the shaman lady? Yeah. The witch, yeah. Surely, right? Because we need that rogue energy going all the way through, from heroes versus villains.
Yep.
Yeah. Still the greatest player to ever play. I'm very shocked she wasn't on the World Tribe because she's South African. She's, American as well. More Native American than Nina, apparently.
Yeah,
self-proclaimed.
African American. Yeah, definitely.
It should have just been her on the World Tribe. Minsu. I don't know. I reckon he's a goner.
Gone.
Yeah, I reckon he's easily a goner. You got the bully guy here. I have a wild theory. I reckon he overdoses.
Yeah.
Because he's now got the drug. Yeah, I reckon maybe overdoses, and that's how he goes. Like, he just goes batshit crazy, and then he dies. I don't know. Thanos, loved him. He's gone too soon. Oh, she's already gone. Oh, what do you think about the recruiter, by the way? I'm pretty sure I've gone through all the characters by now.
He's a great character.
Such a bloody phenomenal character. I watched Train to Busan just because he's in it, and it's probably one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen. It's actually so great.
I've watched it.
But yeah, so I guess Squid Game World. Is there anything else you really want to talk about it before we move on to something else?
No. I'm fascinated. Like, one thing that I'm really weirded out by, like, I'm interested how they're going to cover it. That obviously 1987 was the first Squid Game, started by what's his name, the old man. I don't know his name. But how do they spread that gospel? How do they set up franchises around the world especially like in America, calling it Squid Game when the Squid Game, like the actual, to us Westerners around the world, you say the word Squid Game, it's the TV show, right?
Yeah.
And we go Squid Game, yeah. But in Korea, it's based on the children's game, the thing at the end with the drawing and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So how do they explain that? Because I still don't know how to play that fucking game. They're like, it's called Squid Game. Why? Oh, there's this game that we like. Why don't you call it hopscotch or whatever the fuck we do here? Why is it Squid Game?
Yeah.
Or in the South Korean stupid game. Like that's the bit that's gonna mess with me. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's they like with the whole 1987 one, I really wanted to be told in perspective of the VIPs to see how everything is run. You know what I mean? Like the organizing, like the funding, getting all the millennials around the world to come over and watch it and stuff. And also maybe like creating the games as well.
Well, yeah, it's him starting it. So, yeah.
So that's what I'm most excited to see from it, just how all of that would work. And I guess that kind of sort of brings us to the end of Squid Game. Any final thoughts on Squid Game before we move on to something else?
No, it's such a good IP. Like you talked about how there hasn't been good stuff in the last couple of years or whatever, but this, I know we're going down the path of expanding your universe and sequel upon sequel, and we're talking about season 3 and all that sort of thing. But it is a rich sort of world where you can make cool stories. And like I said, it's such a simple thing. The backdrop is this very tense situation, enclosed environment, lots and lots of characters where you can just write amazing in-depth character development and stories and have it go from there and not have to worry about too much plot, because the plot is the game they're all in to survive,
Yeah, man, I completely agree. Like, for me, I first discovered Squid Game through Roblox, right? It was locked down here in New Zealand. I was playing Roblox with some of the boys because why not? Why can't grown men play Roblox, Kahuna? And yes, we're playing Roblox Squid Game. I was like, this is actually pretty fun. And my friend was like, yeah, it's based off the TV show. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, this whole TV show. And I watched it and I was just blown away by the first episode. First time red light, green light, my mind was blown and I was just obsessed with the show. I was really excited for season 2. Like Crab Game is my favorite online game, where it's pretty much an open mic version of Squid Game, which is just so funny. And yeah, just what a great franchise, right? Like I hope it doesn't reach a point where it's like, oh, there's another one. You get what I mean? Like I hope it could very much get consistently good. Yeah,
you could get there. But I am fascinated and excited to see, like, as much as you don't necessarily want to see remakes, especially American ones, the fact that they're putting in the hands of someone like David Fincher and Netflix is going to throw the money at it. They're going to try to make a thing with that, I think. Like, they know what Squid Game was with Korean, the Korean version. If they think they can replicate that and make it even bigger for the US version, then I'm excited to see what they want to try to do and how ambitious they'll get with it.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, there's something else I wanted to discuss with you as well, because we haven't really talked much about it, but Australia versus the world, man. It's coming out soon, brother. Have you seen the trailer for it?
I'm like, I have not. I've dipped out. I disappeared, as Shardud said. So, Australian Survivor, I didn't watch a single second of it. So, I don't know anything that's going on, but I am going to cram it and I'm going to catch up in time for Australia versus the world for sure.
Would you like me to show you the trailer for Australia versus the world?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, I have it right here, brother. Boom, boom, boom. Right, you can see everything. Awesome, man. Let me know if you can hear the audio.
Survivor. Australia versus the world.
What would a global showdown be without me? I need to get paid.
I'm coming in hot with this dad bod.
It's like the Olympics, a Survivor. Lucky I'm Usain Bolt. That's a lot of beef up there.
Grade A. Oh, sweet little baby Aussies think they know how to play Survivor. They're so cute.
Come on, let's go, Aussie! I'm in for the glory. I want the world title.
This is like playing in a grand final every single day.
Buckle up, kids.
It's like Survivor on steroids.
Everybody will bend their knee to their king.
Survivor. Australia versus the world.
Australia versus the world, brother.
I like it.
You like it? Yeah, man. So
what
it's
well, man.
Yes, bro, such a good cast, man. I'll try to see if I can get the tribe photos up for you. So it's a small season. It's only 14 players total. Have I got full image here? Here we go. So 14 player season. So you got 7 people from Australia. So you got King George. Have you seen all of Australian Survivor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got King George, Janine, the godmother from season 4, probably my favorite player of all time, the original King of the Jungle, Luke Toki. You've got Sarah from season 2. You've got the Golden God, David, Kirby, and Shawnee. And for the world, you have the 3 famous Americans, Sari, Tony, and Parvati. We've got Lisa from New Zealand. We finally made it on the world map again, Kahuna. We've got Lisa from New Zealand. We've got Rob from South Africa, which I know Chris is probably creaming his pants over. And we've got Cassandra from Quebec and Tommy from Finland.
Who?
Yeah. So I've
obviously Siri, Tony, and Parvati in and of itself is enough, but yeah.
So something else I heard about as well was I sort of heard from like a lot of rumors and stuff that the season was actually originally Australia versus America. But because Jeff Probst had a massive sulk about it because he wanted to do season 50, it was like it's either Australian Survivor or you're pretty much not coming back for 50. So I think a lot of players had backed out of doing the Australia versus America to do 50. But it's like there's been a lot of like Survivor 50 news and stuff that's come out. Like Carolyn from 44, she's not on it. She's been cut. And I think Cerie's the only guaranteed lock on it. Yeah, it's because she did traders, and that's why she wasn't allowed on. Like it was this whole massive like public thing that came out. I think Cerie is definitely on because it was sort of leaked through. Yeah, so what I think happened, I did a whole video about it. The video is actually called Jeff Probst Needs to Be Sacked. It did so great. Got like 2.7 thousand views within like 2 weeks. It was nuts. But anyways, so what I think happened was I think that like Jeff Probst, he was like, not going to have anyone who's doing Australia versus the world or anything like that. Apparently Parvati didn't even get the call for 50. But I think like, your Robs and your Sandras obviously turned it down.
Man. Yeah, Tony.
Yeah. I know that Tony turned it down as well because they just know that they can be picked off straight away, basically, since it won't be like a Mount Rushmore kind of season. Whereas at least something like this, at least the players are kind of on even playing ground, right? And so that's why Tony did this over season 50, from just what I've heard. But yeah, like Sandra, Rob, a lot of the big names apparently turned down season 50, so that's why you got Suri on. But not Carolyn. She's been cut. Which did you watch Traders? The recent American Traders?
No.
You'd be really impressed by Carolyn. She did a phenomenal job on that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
But yeah,
so Serene can be on. That's weird then, because the whole thing about season 40 was it was winners at war.
Yeah.
Like they could have had it all if they're not going to do an all winners season.
Oh no, sorry. This is season 50.
Yeah.
So season 50, it's not all winners.
It's not all winners.
Nah. Yeah, it's apparently they're going to try getting a mixed cast of new era and non-new era.
It should be all winners.
Yeah, man. But I don't know, bro. But I'm super excited for this bloody season, though. You know,
you're gonna be covering it.
I'll be covering it, bro. But something as well, which I might have said on the podcast really before. I'm not sure, but I will be going around Australia to as many different watch parties as I can. So anyone watching, if you're there, feel free to come up and say hi. You know, I'm just your average Kiwi bloke. You know, camouflaging himself into Aussie territory. So
when is it on again?
Well, there's actually been a little bit of debate online. So Parvati accidentally said July 18th. But then apparently Tom saw an ad saying June 22nd, and a lot of the fan base think it's June 22nd. But Michelle, apparently from her sort of sources, say it's going to come out after the current MasterChef season has ended.
Okay.
Which will be into July. Sorry, my starter is playing up at the moment. But
are you heading over to Australia?
The second I find out the release date, I'm getting the ticket straight away. Yeah. But no, it's going to be super exciting, man. Did you hear about Deal or No Deal Island Season 2?
Nope.
No? Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Yeah, go for it.
So David and Parvati were on that season.
Yeah.
So David's citizenship in America. And they worked very closely together. Because, fun fact, apparently Parvati was just watching David's seasons before she went out for Deal or No Deal Island.
Oh, okay.
And she was told she'd be the only reality TV contestant on there. But think good old cheeky David walks out. She's like, producers are full of shit, you know. So she played with David, and he won the biggest cash prize in reality TV history, excluding.
Did he really?
Yeah, 5.8 million.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
That puts him up there to be a dual show winner like that.
Yeah, like what is it? I think he shared something recently on his Instagram. Someone had done like a ranking of the most successful reality TV contestants, and David's up there with like number 2 or number 1. You know, $500,000 Australian and 5.8 American.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, $9.2 million Australian.
Dang.
And also Dolores. Hey, been listening while driving. Good to see Kahuna back on the pod. Thank you so much for listening, Dolores. Much love and appreciation for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I don't know if you're a massive fan of Squid Game or Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, but definitely check both of them out. But yeah, man. If you ever want to come on to cover Australia vs. the World, you're always more than welcome to, bro.
I'll come on for Australia vs. the World at some point, I'm sure. I got to catch up on Australia. I need to watch it. I've been away from my reality TV. I didn't watch any of US Survivor, Australian Survivor, or The Challenge, which is the weirdest thing for me. I haven't watched any of them. So
yeah, I mean, you're not missing out with American Survivor though. It's always been there's always been pretty shit.
It's bad. It was bad.
Yeah, well, I think it's bad. I haven't been watching it, but I think it's bad. But from what I've heard, because I have V and Drew covering it, and even they're telling me it's bad.
Yep.
So it's like if you have two people who love American.
Oh, you did Drew as well.
Yeah, I got Drew on, bro. Yeah. No, he's actually
saying it's bad.
Yeah, he's saying it's bad.
He loves American Survivor.
I know. Actually, Drew's actually the lad, bro. You know, like I felt bad because I always thought he was just like new era Survivor only lover, but like he stayed up to 3 a.m. to podcast about US traders with me. Like we're like Sam from New Zealand, Michelle V and stuff. He stayed up to 3 a.m. his time to chat to us about it, which I was like,
awesome.
what a G. He is an absolute legend. And yeah, and I've had him on for every American Survivor stuff. I'm going to get him to cover Australia versus the World with us as well, because I want him, to see even a 16-day season is way better than a 26-day. Nah, but he's an absolute lad about it, and it's funny because we've had it like a couple like jokes over the phone where it's like, just so you know, Mucky, if there's ever like something really bad or crap happens and it involves, the number of days, he'll bring it up. It's like, bro, we're gonna have a fist fight on the podcast, man. Like, just you we're gonna go at each other. No, but I love Drew. He's an absolute lad, like a real legend. Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah. And Delores said, I did hear it. Also watching Genius. It's bad. Survivor US is really bad.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you end up watching Until Dawn?
Not yet.
Not yet.
There is a cam version out there now, though, so I'll watch it.
Oh, okay. Maybe there'll be the next episode, I reckon.
You want to do it?
Until Dawn. I'm super keen,
yeah.
Week? Yeah, we could do it next week. When would you want to do it next week? Same time?
Same, Saturday night.
Yeah, I reckon it's us, man.
Are you free?
Yeah, I should be free, yeah. Because, as much as I'm a wild party animal, I'm out there every night, bloody on K Road with all the homeless people, snitching their booze.
So I got to watch Until Dawn before next Saturday.
Sounds like a plan. And if you can, because I know you're a really busy guy, try to watch Winning the People Out in Honey by next Saturday as well.
It's on the list.
We'll see which is better. That does bring us towards the end of our podcast, though, which, Kahuna, you're back, man. It's so good to finally have you back. I said this to you before we went live. I said at the start of the live, but I'm so grateful to be podcasting with you again, man. Like, to this day, the favorite thing we ever did on the Nullified Take was $1 Million Island.
It was a lot of fun, huh?
Yeah, that was my personal favorite. With the Vault just going off in comments, the article about him apparently hooking up with like 5 different contestants on the beach.
Well, yeah, I'm happy. I'm always, I love talking to you. We've done things where we just talk about nothing, like Bigfoot and Wendigo. So when we have a topic to talk about, like Squid Game, then that's always fun. But yeah, next week we'll do Until Dawn. There may be Wendigo talk again, or maybe the lack of Wendigo.
Yeah, the lack of Wendigo. Yeah, I still record that podcast. We're like, so what's the evidence? I found nothing. You? Nothing. I think we still chatted for like an hour or something, but it was just us just desperately trying to find anything.
Skinwalkers,
nothing.
But yeah, Until Dawn next week.
Until Dawn sounds like a plan, man. And if you're new to the channel or you're from the Nullified Take, coming over to check us out, having our catch up, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe, Kahuna, for cheeky, naughty times. Are you down for a cheeky, naughty time?
Always down for cheeky, naughty times.
Always down for cheeky, naughty times, man.
A little bit more cheek, a little bit more naughty.
You can't go wrong cheeky and naughty, or naughty cheek.
No such thing as too much.
No such thing as too much. And also, if you have any recommendations, movies, TV shows, I don't want to be just boxed in to just Survivor or Squid Game or Until Dawn. Make sure you leave us a comment below. What would you like us to potentially talk about or cover? I'm always open to exploring new avenues here on this channel. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ka kite anō, everyone. Have a good night. See you guys. Bye.